Hey guys, it's Mathel here once again with the visual damage that is Thunderstorm and Windburst as a bow skill kind of follow-up video. Basically, I did end up playing this character up through to level 95 and took on as much endgame as I could, realistically, with this type of a playstyle and skill. And the end conclusion is it's pretty damn fun. I think it's pretty damn strong, and it's also jank as fuck. So I did end up, as you saw in the previous video, not using Asenaths at all beyond like level 80 or something. And I think that's pretty much the wrong way to play the skill. So you'll see throughout this entire video lots of different situations where I have to just stutter step trigger this skill, and it can be pretty damn bad, and it can also be pretty inefficient. Like, I'm just not getting a lot of my attacks off because you have to throw out a thunderstorm, get into it, and then leave it. And if it doesn't work exactly that way, you've wasted your attack essentially. So for most content, for most like just normal shit, it's just a minor inconvenience, and it's just a bit, something to get used to, and it's a little bit annoying, but I absolutely got used to it, and it was okay. Like, up till level 95, I was doing these, tier 16s and some 17s and juiced maps and whatnot, and it's okay for all of that, and it's like amazing for plenty of different places, for delve, for ritual, for a lot of different layouts on your maps. It's just a bit to get used to, and it's a bit of an annoying playstyle, but it's fine. Realistically though, if you want an actual comfortable playstyle, it pretty much has to be Asenaths, just to teleport around and basically always trigger the ability, and then to get rid of the jank and get rid of the, kind of actual playstyle they're trying to force you into here. Which kind of sucks. It sucks that that's just how it is, but, to be creative with new skills, I guess that's just how it's going to be sometimes. Sometimes you're going to miss the mark on how annoying it is to play, or how annoying it is to pilot a certain skill and play style. And this one, I think it's just a little bit too annoying to have to always deal with the way it's intended to be played, I think. And also, like I said, inefficient. You'll see throughout some of these boss fights where once you have a boss mechanic to end up interacting with and stuff to dodge, it becomes pretty fucking hard to like play your build and do your rotation, trigger your thunderstorms the right way, because you've got to like dodge stuff and pay attention to mechanics. So visibility most of the time isn't really that much of an issue. The boss abilities and mechanics and stuff come through over the top of your ability. And for some of these bosses, this skill is fucking amazing because there's like, really small arenas. The brain here on Maven has a pretty large hitbox as well, I think. So it gets like evaporated. I didn't end up doing Uber Maven, didn't think it was going to be worth the try because of the amount of mechanics I'd have to dodge, but regular Maven's really good. Most Maven invites are really good, and what actually ends up being kind of funny, and my realization with this skill is you are basically fighting the environment. You are fighting the boss arena. You are fighting the surroundings more than you are the boss, because in a lot of these encounters, all I'm really doing is running around in circles and staring at the ground or the arena and trying to avoid whatever's showing up around it, as opposed to like ever looking at the boss, ever really trying to interact with the boss, and it just ends up being a bit weird. So this here, Cirrus, is pretty much the worst boss for this build possible, because there is like no walls or anything anywhere nearby, and it is pretty bad. So this is just regular Cirrus, and I did a bunch of them because I ended up doing probably like 5 feared kills for this character, since Maven Invites and feared and stuff like that is pretty good. But yeah, the Cirrus is kind of painful because it's, like I said, hard to trigger your ability with the playstyle, and then there's no actual like wall bouncing overlaps. If I at least had Asenath's combo, then every single attack I'd be doing should largely never be wasted, so it would at least do quite a bit more damage, I think. But the way I'm playing it, as you can see, sometimes we are just missing the attacks, at least if I'm not fully in tune with how I'm pressing and clicking and all that, because like I said, it takes some getting used to, and when sometimes I fall out of tune of what I'm doing because of boss mechanics or the arena or even just my own brain delay, then I'll just like start not proccing the right things the right way. So here you can see the Feared pretty good, opening couple of kills. Of course, Cirrus, people are not exaggerating, that is a pretty fucking messy addition to the Feared. I don't know exactly how that's going to go in the future. I imagine there's going to be some fixing up still because Cirrus just transplanted into the Feared instead of its Chiula. 1-for-1 is really messy. He does like spams abilities. He's not targetable all of the time, and his abilities are not very friendly in synergy with the other bosses. Either way, still very doable. And yeah, it's just really, really messy. One of the other things is his ground degen just never goes away. Those little red degen blocks. It's just there permanently, even after you kill the fights. So like that surely has to be a bug, right? All in all, yeah, pretty decent ability for lots of things. Like I did a couple of simulacrums and got to I think wave 15 on both of them. So I didn't complete either of them, but I got very close. And it just ends up being down to a couple of closest fights and stuff with difficult mods. So like the first 10 waves or so are pretty face roll, and I think you can build a character like this to be decent at Simulacrum, which is really quite nice for a vanilla bow character. By vanilla bow, I mean it's a bow character that just scales, you know, some tri-alley damage, some evasion, some suppress. That's pretty vanilla. That is just your typical bow character, and usually you're not going to be doing great against things like Simulacrum with that. But the playstyle, the huge amount of extra proj that just shit up the entire screen, ends up being pretty damn good. So the other thing is the additional proj, as I was mentioning from the previous video, is I think it still is profitable because you get the additional proj towards the splits of your Fury Valve. I never ended up taking Fury Valve off to test anything. I just figured Fury Valve was the way forward here and kept it the way it was. So yeah, it's just, I don't think it's as important to get lots of extra proj because the splits maybe don't matter quite as much as I thought it would with the original projectiles that you shit out, but it's still pretty good, I think. So I don't think I built it wrong in any real way. Yeah, it's just difficult to pilot in these T17s and stuff. But all in all, pretty good. Most of these arenas, boss arenas, are really good for the skill. The clear of the actual fights is pretty of the actual maps is pretty damn good, because, you know, all the maps are pretty much nice little corridors and stuff. So I was actually getting some, you know, good XP and stuff while doing tier 17s. Granted, if you roll some bad stuff, it ends up being really bad. And most of these boss fights are pretty annoying still to navigate with the way that the skill plays. So it wasn't great, but the damage output can definitely be decent. And yeah, I think the end conclusion is probably try and build with Asenaths and Lightning Warp or Frost Blink if you're going to try something like this, because it just takes away a lot of the headache of the actual ability. So with all that chatter, I'll leave you with Uber Elder. I did end up taking on a few Ubers here or there and lots of endgame content, so I was pleased with this build overall, and just, yeah, happy to see that the new skill is not as bad as everyone originally thought. It's just pretty weird. So enjoy the last piece of content. Thank you very much for watching. See you guys next time.
I'll do something.
Let's try to clean up the tentacle bros without trying as the ads spawn. Yeah. What a jump scare. Where did he come from? Clean.
I agree with Methel.
What is this?